Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurata Vrinda
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapatakalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sadhujatam Sahikana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahigana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taribhascha Kripa Sindhapya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
So I'm not sure how to get all the participants here. I generally
have to keep scrolling, huh?
Yeah.
So how would I do, Mataji? I will look at the screen there and participants here. See, I can only look at one screen at a time. That's the problem. Oh, I can see someone else. Hope they have some laptop. Okay, we'll start some revision. We are having some more challenges always. Hare Krishna. So we started last week. I can't go to, it just takes over the whole screen. Okay, Mataji? Nothing is working?
I mean, you can see the video, but you need to scroll. You don't have a complete.
No, the laptops we have. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll do what we can do. Give me one thing. I'll look at the verses there and people here. Huh? Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's start. Okay, so 425. That's where we started last week. Tanya Mataji, you're on the top. Would you like to do that?
Yes, Prabhuji, sure. So basically verse 425 onwards, they discuss different type of yagyas. So the translation for verse 25, some yogis perfectly worship demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some offer sacrifices in the fire of Supreme Brahma. So basically, it's very self-explanatory, but some yogis are doing the sacrifice to demigods, and they are the karmakandis, And then the others are doing yagya for Brahman. They're like the Mayavadis who believe they'll merge into God. And then in the next verses onwards, we'll discuss what the other types of sacrifices or yagyas are.
Rupa Prabhu, I'm sorry, Mataji, I'm still having some technological. Can you share your screen? I can't work. So you control the verses, Prabhuji, because we only have one laptop and.
Okay, Ru. Yeah. So I can see your. I can see photo.
I can't see my own screen.
Okay.
Can you please do that? I'll stop sharing.
Sure.
Because somehow it's too much technology. Okay. So Prabhuji, you basically run the verses. I'll just run the speaking part. Sorry, Tanya Mataji, I was a little bit distracted because we are limited.
No, that's okay, Prabhuji.
I only have one laptop. What it does, it just actually overrides the other screen, so I can't talk as well as see the screen at the same time. And we don't have another screen available in this room. So that's the challenge. Anyway, we are trying to sort it out. So we can move to 426. We have Prasannatma Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Verse number 26.
Yes.
Translation is: some, the unadulterated brahmacharis, sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control, and others, the regulated householders, sacrifice the objects of senses in the fire of the sense. Basically, talking about the brahmacharis who sacrifice by, like, they will be involved in hearing and controlling their senses, hearing process and senses in the fire of mental control. Try to control their mind and the senses. And the householders also sacrifice the object of senses, even though they are married, they are like rest alive, but still they have to control their senses and have a regulated life. Yep. So that's what they're saying.
Little bit more. So for a brahmachari, so a specific thing given, and for a grihastha also a specific thing is given. If someone else can, right?
For brahmachari, it's hearing.
Yes.
And for grihasthas, it's controlling their senses in self-indulgence.
Yes. So Shrotra refers to the hearing. So everything Prabhupada said starts from hearing. So if our hearing is well, and especially for the brahmacharis, then you can do sayam, you can do control of the senses. And Shabda din Vishayan Anya. So Shabda again refers to the hearing for grihasthas as well. So basically one commonality is there. Our hearing should be very perfect. So what we are hearing and where we are hearing from. Okay, 27. Rupam Prabhuji, if you would like to do.
Yes, Ru. Can you see my screen, Ru? First thing.
Yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes and no. To be honest, I'm looking at a different screen, but that's okay. You carry on, please.
Can others see my screen?
I hope so. Not really.
Yes, Prabhuji can.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think just leave it as it is. You have your phones on, you have your books on. We actually overdoing it.
Okay. Let me try this. So 427 translation: others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblation into fire of the controlled mind. So looking at my notes. So the things that I remember out of this was the use of the boat theory, where boat is the sharir, is the body, and the water through which the boat traverses is are the senses. So just like in a boat, if there is one hole, even if there is one hole, it's going to drown the entire boat. But the boat floats on top of water. So as long as we use the water as a means to travel, it should be fine. As long as we don't get indulged into it. So water is like Kali Yuga. So if water comes inside the boat, Kali Yuga is entering your body, and then that's not good. So the suggestion here was use water as your friend, or use the sansar and all the characteristics of the sansar as your means to go through your Jivan Yatra.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good example, but maybe we should cover the verse as well. So definitely good example, which we discussed. But I like to take some Sanskrit words and the meaning and the relation. So Sarvanindriya Karmani. So Sarvandriya refers to Sarva Indriya. So previous verse, what we were talking about, Shrutra Indriya, the hearing senses. Huh? Now you're saying Sarvanindriya Karmani, Pran Karmani Chapare. So Apre refers to Anye, others. Huh? So some others. So we are talking different types of yagyas in different verses. There are 6 verses here, 425 to 429, 5 verses. So these people, Anye, Sarvani Indriya Karmani, they are actually offering all the Indriyas. Huh? And the second line we can say Atma Sanyam. What does Atma Sanyam refers to? Self-regulation. Huh? So all the Indriyas, they are regulating. And how are they regulating? Juhyati. Juhyati refers to, Prabhupada says, offer. Where do they offer? Jnana Deepate. Huh? So in the Jnana. So they offer all the Indriyas in knowledge. So basically all Indriyas, they do control, they do Sanyam of all Indriyas, and they offer it to the Jnana, because for that, they achieve a higher purpose. Huh? So as we discussed last week, what are the 2 purpose of sacrifices? Anyone was there last week? No, okay. You were there, Mataji? What are the 2 purpose of sacrifice?
To all senses, like hearing, process. The objects of senses in the fire. There are 2, like one is regulated householders.
That is already done, Mataji. So what are the 2 generic principles of doing a sacrifice?
One is
liberation.
Thank you, Priya Mataji. Thank you, Rukun Prabhu. So purification. So whenever we do a sacrifice, we get purified. What a sacrifice means, what we could have used for our own sense enjoyment, we are giving to Lord Vishnu. So that brings us purification. And through the purification, eventually we'll achieve liberation from material bondage. Liberation here does not mean leaving the body. Liberation is achieving the coming out of the material bondage. Okay, 28. Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. So, Prabhu, I remember that you told the principle here is pleasing the Lord. So, Drova Yajnas, some do it with sacrificing one's possessions, as in doing dana, giving away something to the Lord in the temple, doing some donations. Tapo Yajna was like austerities, like we talked about Chaturmas, like how devotees follow some austerities, though our Srila Prabhupada has said that this is our mission, is like our movement is not a very austerity oriented movement, but at the same time, if it like whatsoever in our giving circumstances we can do, it is the principle behind is to please the Lord. And then Yogya Yajnas Tathapare. And the word I remember was swadhyay, which I could relate. That is what we are doing, swadhyay, the self study, or the another sacrifice is the sacrifice in the study of the Vedas. So yeah, like studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita is also there. I just remember this, Prabhu. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Now, Sanshit Vrataha, there's a word used here that's very important, strict vows. So they take Vrata, Sanshit Vrata. Sanshit means determined, strict. So these people, apare, again the word apare is common. Again, Kutimarani prayers, apare word is there. So apare, others, there are three types of yajnas defined in this verse. As Mataji said, Dravya yajna, Dravya means offering some possessions. It can be grains, it can be money, it can be something more gross. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna. Tapo yajna refers to any austerities. Some do this Ravivar yajna, some Buddhavar yajna, some Santoshi Mata yajna, Ganesh yajna. Prabhupada writes here Chaturmas yajna, that's for Vaishnavas. But anyway, so they do some sort of austerities there. Tapa yajna, Yoga yajna. Yoga yajna refers to what? Actually, there's four types of sacrifices given here. Yoga yajna, Ashtanga yoga. There's lots of asanas and this and that, 8 types of 8 stages of Ashtanga yogas. In the next science is Swadhyaya Yajna. Some brahmacharis are constantly doing Swadhyaya, Adhyan. So they offer themselves in that. And we are also doing the Swadhyaya Yajna. But here our purpose is different of this Swadhyaya Yajna. Our purpose is to gain some knowledge, to come closer to the Lord, not to become a scholarly person. And how these people are doing Sanshit Prataha, strict vows. That's important. It's not we read a page of Bhagavad Gita today and then we don't look at Bhagavad Gita for the next 6 months. Sanshit Prataha. Okay, next one, 29. We'll keep online. There are some offline devotees here, but they were not present last week. So I'm just requesting on the online devotees. Who's Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This one, Prabhuji.
Rupa Prabhu, can you increase? Yes, Mataji, please go.
So I'll just read the translation first. So,
yes, please.
Still others who are inclined to the process of breath restraint to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. So from this, Prabhuji, what I understood from last time is that here, I guess the thing we can notice is when we look at the Sanskrit shlokas, there's the words like panam, pranapana, pranayama. So these type of Sanskrit verses are used which refer to the breathing. So breathing activities done by the yogis. And when our breathing is in control, then our mind is in control, and we can also, by doing that, we can also look after, when we are controlling our mind, in that sense, we are looking after our body, and then we can also serve Krishna nicely that way. So you mentioned that, obviously having a healthy body is important for Krishna's service. Then the higher, so we mentioned that also the accepting like higher authorities for the higher purpose. So the higher the sacrifice we do, the higher the happiness we can achieve. So which is not in sense gratification. So for example is like we are serving the nation, or Prabhupada he has given his life for Krishna. So that is serving the higher purpose. We also mentioned example of Jayapataka Maharaj, who constantly travels, even despite all his health issues, which he's doing severe austerity. So basically, given these people, we can learn from, who have given their life for Krishna. Yeah, so basically, and then it's, basically the pranan praneshu vati is offering the outgoing breath as a sacrifice. So offering ourselves in the form of like controlling our breathing, also which helps to control our mind, and then therefore we can also serve Krishna, I guess, in that way nicely. So I guess here it's more referring to those breathing type of activities, which further can obviously ultimately lead us to Krishna. I think that's what it is.
Yep. Thank you, Mataji. One last thing which I can say extra in this verse. So, okay, second line also we can take this little more expansion. Prana, pan, gati, rutva. So pran and apan. So there are different types of vayu, different types of airs in our body, which we discussed last time. So there are generally 5 types. Again, it's one categorization. There are multiple ways of looking at the body. So here in this verse, we are talking 2 different types of airs, pran and apan. So prana vayu and apan vayu. So pran vayu says goes outwards and apan vayu goes downwards. So rutva means they come into an equilibrium state where they're not going in or out. And in that state, it says mind is completely stopped. That's what they're trying to achieve. And pranayam, parayana. So pranayam refers to, that's okay. Mataji, you can just open Gita here. I would like to refer to purport as well. Okay, so I'm not using this now. I can see. Okay, just open here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's already. I'll just.
I can't scroll and see from purport.
I can leave them.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, I'm talking to Madhuri Mataji. So that's one way of doing tatha apare in the first line, and the third line we see apare niyata haraha. So this one again is very important, especially for Krishna's devotees. So apare, anya, others, niyat ahar. So niyat ahar refers to regulated ahar. So regulated ahar is very, very important for all of us. Unless we do regulation in eating, Prabhupada said if you're a neophyte, you eat till neck full. Thank you, Mother. Yeah, yes. But once you have crossed that initial neophyte state, then you should only eat to maintain your body and soul together, not more and not less. In 6th chapter, we'll read 6:16 and 6:17. A yogi is not the one who eats too much or eats too little. And also Krishna mentioned not sleeps too little or not sleep at all. So we have to do niyat ahar, especially maintain the food quantity, obviously quality, very nicely. So without regulation, we can understand we cannot achieve any goal. Even in the material world, we have to regulate ourselves to achieve some big goals. Just a mundane example, all these celebrities, male or females, they do a lot of austerity behind the scene before they appear in the scene. So we have to understand that niyat ahar is very, very important. Jivat is to offer. Okay. Next one, Prabhuji, 430, which, so these 424 to 429 verses talks about different types of sacrifices. 430 and 431 will sort of conclude this section. I see. Sumit Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I will try, although I was traveling at the time when this was discussed.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay if you were present. Manish Prabhu, I guess you were not there last week. Hare Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Vinay Prabhu was, I'm sure he was there. Hare Krishna, Vinay Prabhu, you are on mute.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hari Bol. The verse 30's translation is, all this performance who knows these meanings of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reaction, and having tasted the nectar of the result of sacrifice, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. So in here, actually, there's you say just before is before the all verse different type of Ragnu sacrifice, but now this 30 and 31 they do the conclusion, and they say is actually the two result is here. Kalmosha is sinful reaction, and this sinful reaction is cleansed and merged to the Brahman. That is another word is Shadbib Jaggovidda Jaggokulmash Kotya Kulmasha. Okay. Opudanya Pranajati Shadbi Opiate Jaggovidda Jaggokoita Kalmasha. Yeah. Then Jaggo says, for example, you give some example as well, like book distribution, food for life, prasadam distribution, service of kitchen, all are Jagno. By this Jagno, we get cleansed and purified and go towards the Krishna. And more we cleansed, more we close to the Krishna. This is like a conclusion in this verse, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll just pick up some Sanskrit first. So, Sarve Tete Yajna Vido. So, Yajna Vido refers to Yajna Vido. Yajna ko janne wale. They know the Yajna, they know the art of sacrifice. What does it do? Yajna Shapit. So, Shapit Prabhupada writes here, being cleansed as a result of such performances. So, that's the word which I was discussing earlier. Yajna Shapit Kalmasha. Kalmasha refers to Kalmash, contamination. Kali Kalmal Nashanam. So Yajna Shapit. So Yajna will purify of the Kalmasha. So this is why we do sacrifice. All of us today, one example, these devotees traveling for what, 60 kilometers. Mataji just went to Vrindavan. You also went? No. Okay. That's anyway. So these are also type of sacrifice. They could have sat at home and watched some match today or something else, some movie or something. But they come into temple. They get ready from the afternoon or onwards. So why are we doing this? Yajna Shapit Karmasha. We are all impure, contaminated. By doing these little sacrifices for the pleasure of Lord and devotees, we become purified. Second line, Yajna Shishtamrit Bhujo. Yajna Shishtamrit, any other words refers to the similar words? I discussed last week as well. You should know that verse. 313. Yes, so two words are actually common. 313. So Yajna refers to the remnants, Shishta, remnants of Yajna, sacrifice. Bhujo, and what do they take? Bhujo means they accept. Yajna Shishta, they only accept the remnants of Yajna. So everything is not only referring to the prasadam part, anything. We even get a car and that we take as prasad. We do the puja in the temple first. Our clothing, our house, everything is prasad. There's nothing which we have not offered to Krishna. And Guru said, we cannot offer to Krishna, we don't accept it. Isn't it? We all eat meat, I'll offer it to Krishna. So that's not offerable. So we don't take it. So everything is prasad. Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. So what will happen? By this, Yanti Devrata Devan, Yanti means to achieve. What are you achieving? Yanti Brahma, you are achieving Brahma Sanatanam. So that Brahma which is eternal, you are achieving. So through Yajna, the principle of Yajna, we are moving towards Brahma. So this is why we are doing Yajna. Now here Brahma obviously for us refers to becoming more Krishna conscious. Okay, thank you. Last verse in this series, 31. Which is very important. So one of the smallest verses, but very important verse. 31. Jai Prakash Prabhu, you were there last week.
I was in the program, Prabhu, actually.
Okay, no problem. So we'll go back in the series. I will have to request Tanya Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. I will just read the translation. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of next? So, what you had explained is what happens when a person is not interested in performing the yajna. So the consequence is that we can never live happily in this life, and not just this life, but any other life, we can never live happily. So yeah, that's a short summary that I have.
No, that's fine. You said it just. I'll just pick up again. Na ayam loko. Ayam loko refers to this loka. Ayam loka. Na ayam loko. Asti agyasya. So ayagyasya, sorry, ayagyasya. So ayagya refers to one who is not performing yagya or not interested in yagya. Now let's take a simple example, and there are hundreds of it. Any leaders of the society, Hitler, for example, or so many others, they lived a life of sacrifice or a non-sacrifice. They were very selfish people. They just wanted to control the life the way they liked the life, although life did not treat them like that, but they wanted that way. So they are called ayagyasya. So these people are not interested in any yagya, any sacrifice. Now we may be very small people, but still we try to pray for others. We try everyone. What's the verse, Gopal, which you pray every morning? Yeah? Thank you. What's the meaning of this? Sarve bhavantu sukhinam. So everyone knows that. Sarve bhavantu sukhinam. Everyone should be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. Niramaya refers to no disease. No one should have any disease. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. So whatever we see should be very bhadra, auspicious. We have subhadra, supremely auspicious. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kashit. Ma means no. Kashit means anyone for any sort of thing. Dukh bhag bhaved. So no one should be having any bhag of dukkha, any portion of dukkha. This is our general prayer in Vedic culture. So we pray for everyone. What to speak of, like our family and our nation and our community, we pray for every living entity. So this is the principle which is inbuilt in our blood. If we follow the Vedic culture, we have to do yajna. We always worry actually more about others than ourselves. So, but these people who are not interested in this sort of principle, they are called ayagyas. They are not interested in yajna, in any sorts of yajna. Means living a very selfish life. So they are not going to be happy. Kuto anya. Anya refers to in anya loka. So if you are talking in this loka, so you will not be happy here as well as in anya loka. Purusattam. Hey Bharat, hey Arjun. So very important verse is teaching us. If we want to be happy, we can just revert the whole verse again. If we want to be happy, what should be the principle? We should have the principle of sacrifice in our life. And as Mataji was saying, the higher the sacrifice, the higher the happiness. Some people give their life for their family. That's nice. Some people give life for their nation. We have, say, Mahatma Gandhi or Chandrasekhar Azad, and so many, say, Subhash Chandra Bose, and many national heroes. And their photos are everywhere. Why? Because they gave their life. They could have saved their life just by accepting this British Raj, but they said no. And not only for themselves, for the nation, they stood at the front, and they were practically killed, murdered. So many national heroes are there. But who is the best hero? Who is the best hero? Who give life for? Krishna. So it's not a theory, you can understand it. Why? Because today I may be born in a certain country A, tomorrow I'll be born in the neighboring country B, which I hated when I was so-called A, citizen of A. So it may happen, because at the time of death, I might be thinking about my enemy. So I'll take what there. But if you die for Krishna, what happens? What happens if you die for Krishna? 4.9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yavit tattva tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarjan. So you will not take janma. Not only that, you will come to me, mam iti. Krishna will take care of us, which is not possible in any other sacrifice. Okay, let's move forward. 32. Prasannatma Prabhuji.
I have one question.
Sure. Prabhuji, just 1 second. Mataji has a question.
So, no one can live happily without any sacrifice.
Yes.
We have all the 4 varieties of sacrifice. It applies to all the sacrifices. Like tapo, yajna.
Yeah.
Even that also is.
Yes. So they are offering something. See, okay. As per the verses, Grahasthas are offering, Sannyasis are offering, Brahmacharis are offering, even Mayavadis are offering themselves. Sarvadindra Karmani, Prana Karmani Chapare. The Ashtanga Yogis are offering. So it actually practically covers everything. Covers everything. It covers Brahmacharis, Ashtanga Yogis, Mayavadis. So he's saying the principle is, if you live on this principle of sacrifice, you'll be happy. If you're not living on a principle of sacrifice, you'll not be happy. And the higher the sacrifice, the higher the happiness. When you die for the nation, I don't know how they feel, but they feel a happiness. They're happy to leave their body. It's not easy. It's not easy. You ask someone, come and I'll cut your finger. Thank you. Cut my head, take everything away. I'm just remembering when I went to some place where the banana farm is there. What's the famous place where the Gurdwara is there? Gausagar, here we are. Gausagar. So I went to Gurdwara there, and in front of Gurdwara they have a little museum. So I saw some photos of these Sikh heroes. They gave up their children, young 5-year-old children, many of them, because Mughals took their children away, chopped them to pieces, practically speaking. But they just stood for their principle. They said, you can take my children away, but I'm not going to budge. They were put in a sort of a cycle of death. It's like a spiky thing. The body was put. I saw those pictures, horrible. The kids were put under the bricks and mortar. So you see them, but they stood up for their principle, for their community, for their country. There is a pleasure. Now it's a different types of pleasure. We cannot imagine, probably I can't. We love our body so much, we're so lazy. But they stood up. Now you look at Prabhupada. Why would Prabhupada struggle so much to become a devotee? I go to temple so that one day I can become a devotee. I get a little purified. Prabhupada didn't go to temple to get purified. He made temples for us so that we can become purified. One of his disciples, I can't remember the name, he literally said, Prabhupada murdered himself. I literally like this. It makes sense. Prabhupada murdered himself for us. But we have no time to read even the books written by Prabhupada. He slept 2 hours for us. How many of us sleep 2 hours? Okay, maybe some. I mean, someone like Divya Mataji or something. Huh? So they can quit their sleep, but we love our sleep. We love our house. We love our money. We love our family. We love everything. Little bit for Krishna, everything else for us. So the sacrifice power is very, very little. That's why we're not having that sweetness in the devotional life. I was speaking to someone yesterday. Not having the sweetness in the devotional life because we are not sacrificing ourselves in the devotion. So that principle is very important. And that principle, the more we get purified inside, the more we start living on that principle. I'm looking at Bhakti Maharaj just behind us. So much sacrifice he has done. So many things has happened in his life. He stood up for a higher principle, no matter what happens to me or to my other related things, but I stand for this principle. So that's a big thing. My Guru Maharaj, so many Jayapataka Maharaj, Mataji was saying, unstoppable, no matter what happens, you cannot stop these people. That's really nice.
So the Russian, Russian devotees were also put in jail.
Yep. Salt and Bread, that book. They were tortured. Their fingers were put into chemicals. Someone was saying that. So they were typing. So their fingers were put in chemicals, and they practically dilated the fingers. They were still typing from the boards. Now we get this Bhagavad Gita, $5 or free or this and that. We still don't read it. In Russia, they made photocopies. They smuggled one Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, I'm using that word. That's what the word said. They smuggled one Bhagavad Gita, and then they photocopied it. Bhakti Maharaj went there, and just recently means probably 10, 15 years ago. And the machine was underground. Outside there was a house. The machine was underground, which was used for photocopy. For many years, that machine was used for photocopying in pages, and they will stipple the pages and they will distribute the book. That was a book distribution in Russia. Bhakti Maharaj, when he went there and saw that machine, he paid Dandavat Pranam to the machine and he put tilak from the ink of that machine. This machine is the Sankirtan leader. If this machine wasn't there, there will be no Sankirtan in Russia at that time at least. And now Russia is the second largest community of devotees outside India. So much pain devotees have taken for us, and we just open the Veda base, and that's it. We don't spend too much amount of concentration here. Anyway, is that okay, Mataji? Yeah. That principle, that's what Bhagavad Gita is saying. Now we can modify that principle in certain ways in our life. but this is what Prabhupada is referring to for us. Okay, 432. Prasannatma Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So I'll read the translation and sloka, Prabhu.
Just a translation, Prabhu.
Only translation.
Some good points because we already covered this last week.
Okay. All these different types of sacrifices are approved by Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. So, evam bahu vida yajna. Bahu vida yajna means various kinds of sacrifices. Vitato brahmana mukhe.
So Brahmana refers to Vedas.
Vedas, okay.
Coming from Vedas. So all these sacrifices which we have just discussed is coming from Vedas. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming from all of them are born of different types of work.
Yeah. So that's Karmajan Vidhi. Vidhi refers to Veda, to know. Karmajan, they are born. Ja is Janma, born of karma, of activity. So what's the reference Krishna is giving to Arjuna here? So we can draw one reference. So in this verse, Krishna is telling something to Arjuna. So obviously the first line is quite generic. We are saying all these coming from Vedas. So all these yagyas which we have spoken are written in Vedas. They're coming from Vedas. But what's the point which Krishna is talking to Arjuna? As a third line, Karmajan Viditan. So they're all based on activity. So Arjuna, if you are trying to become inactive, that's not very nice. So many times we all get, quite frustrated in our lives. And say, chodo sab kuch, chodo ghar baar, chalo Haridwar. Every one of us feel like that. No one can go Haridwar. But we feel like that many times. So basically, we don't want to get involved in activity because activity means some sort of action. The action will happen. Good, bad, Krishna conscious, non-Krishna conscious, whatever. But it will happen. I think one of the statements from some Bollywood or Hollywood, always get confused. Anyway, one celebrity from there says, I don't know exact statement, but he said, we should not speak too many words because if you speak the words, others get agitated. Better to speak, not to speak, be silent. Huh? But that's not our philosophy. Huh? Prabhupada's philosophy is not that. So we are silent, we are also mani, but we don't speak prajalpa. So we are speaking Krishna Katha. But these people are trying to reduce their activity. As soon as they get involved, this celebrity, Indian Hollywood, no? Bollywood. Indian Bollywood celebrity made the statement which was popular, don't speak too many words because words agitate others. So don't speak, don't do anything, but that will also agitate. I heard from some elderly gentleman, he's saying this jeep, this tongue doesn't have a bone, but it can break the bones. You heard that? It doesn't. It's only 1 inch flesh, isn't it? But when it runs without any regulation, it can break the bones. Just because of the tongue, thousands of people can die. Draupadi made a statement, at least in some versions of Mahabharata, and says that was the cause of the whole Mahabharata. Huh? True or not true? Chaitanya says that statement is true or not true. We don't know, but that statement hurt someone. The whole Mahabharata was taken. One of the reasons, many reasons. Huh? Just tongue, some unregulation tongue at home or work. If you don't regulate this, anything can happen. Huh? Your boss can sack you in a minute. Huh? You don't feel like tolerating your boss. You can speak up, then exit. At home also, huh? So many things happen just because of the unregulated. See, many times the fight doesn't, or disagreement doesn't happen because of lack of food or lack of clothing, lack of better car. It just happens because we don't agree with the opinions. Huh? And why we don't agree, we express in a certain way. So karma jan viditan. So tan, all of them are based on karma. So Arjuna, what you should do? Karma, activity. Inactivity is no solution. Okay, sab kuch chhod ke so jao. Krishna doesn't recommend that. And what will be the result of that? That Prasannatma Prabhu will tell in the 4th line.
Karma jan vidhi tan sarva evam jnatva vimokshati. So if you do this, then you'll get liberation.
Thank you. And what's the liberation word here? What's the meaning of this?
Vimokshas.
So what is the meaning of this, Prabhuji? So one is the literal meaning, one is the contextual meaning. So literal meaning is vimokshas.
Yeah, you will be liberated.
Yeah, so moksha is liberation, vimoksha is positive liberation, okay. Vishesh. V refers to Vishesh. Now V also refers to Vikra, transformed in a bad way. Here V refers to in a positive way, as you said. Vishesh Mukti. What's this Vishesh Mukti? What's the Vishesh Mukti?
Your liberation from materialism.
That's small. That's not Vishesh Mukti. That's just simple Mayavadi.
Now to get lost towards Krishna super soul.
Identifying our actual identity and our eternal activity is called Vishesha Mukti. So identifying ourselves, what is it? Simple. We are the servant of Krishna. That's identifying our eternal identity. And what is our eternal activity? To serve Krishna. Two things are there. So identifying he is my father, he is my mother, right? That's one. And then what's my eternal activity? To serve my parents. No? So if I identify only, that's not the end. Oh, you're not the body or the soul. That's fine. We don't deny that. That's enough. But is that good enough to reach to Krishna or good enough to experience the eternal mortality? No. Immortality? No. What I need to identify my eternal relation with my Lord, and then I can be happy in that relationship. No? Simple example Prabhupada gave. A mother loves the child. And child, I love you, I love you, I love you. Child, mama, I'm hungry. But child, I love you. Mama, I'm hungry. So relationship is there, mama and child. Relationship is there. But that relationship is fulfilling without service? No. So similarly, Mayavadis are not satisfied in their eternity, so-called eternity, that's not eternal. So because there's no relationship, there's no activity there. So two things. So Gyatva Vimoksha se refers to, we'll get that Visheshan, we will identify ourselves as what we are, and we'll also understand our eternal activity which we are supposed to do in that relationship. No? So relationship is only complete when we identify that service attitude in any relationship. It will not last without service. When we serve our boss, there's also activity involved. Without activity, boss will not be hiring us. Huh? Okay, let's move forward. 33, and then we come to the most important verse. We go to Saki Radhika Mataji.
O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material possessions. After all, O son of Pritha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge. So, Prabhu, I remember bits and pieces here. It was the comparison we discussed. The comparison is given, and so Shreyan means greater. Of material possessions, it is better that a person does the sacrifice in knowledge. And we did the word karma khilam. Akhilam means all. That's what I remember. And we discussed that what is the mood behind the sacrifice is what matters, not the quantity or the other aspects. But we also just like you also told us the example that Krishna is bhavagrahi, and you gave the example of Duryodhana and Vidura. So, Prabhu, sorry, I remember very less.
That's okay, Mother. You have said the gist. I'll again just go to the words. It's nice to read with the word. Shreyan, as you said, Mataji, it's greater. Dravya Mayat Yagya. So there's a Dravya Yagya. We read that in 27 or 28. So Dravya Mayat Jnana Yagya. So you can see two. So if you compare two Yagyas, so Jnana Yagya refers to your mental, intellectual offering. Dravya refers to some physical gross offering. So which is greater? Shreyan Dravya Mayat Yagya Jnana Yagya Parantapa. O chastiser, Parantapa, chastiser of enemies. Jnana Yagya is greater than the Dravya Yagya. So Dravya Yagya is easy. What do you mean easy? Like giving charity, $100 or something is easy, but you yourself presenting yourself for Krishna, that is difficult, especially mentally. For example, chanting. Chanting is also a sort of yajna, where you're giving your time and energy and focus and concentration to Krishna. It's a hard as yajna, isn't it? Hard as yajna. Giving $100 is easy, or chanting attentively is easy? Which is easy? Be honest. Huh? $100, huh? And it's so easy, you just swipe your card or go online, huh? But chanting attentively, that is difficult. That is difficult, man. This is one example, man. Similarly, to love Krishna or to love Krishna's devotee, Prabhupada says, if you love me, you live in a spirit of cooperation. Is that easy? So, Dravya Yajna, offering money or offering even time, I can drive and I can work in the kitchen, I can be in the reception. That's also Yajna. It's very, very nice, no doubt about it. But giving our mind to Krishna, that is difficult. Mind is for something else. What's that verse? 1864. So there are 4 categories given there. So man mana. So give your mind to me. So what's the highest category Krishna is saying? Give your mind to me. Because Krishna knows that is the most difficult part. Most difficult part, giving mind to. But if you cannot become my devotee. Madhyaji. And then you do my worship. Namaskuru. And then the 4th one you do pranam. So they're all nice. But the category starts from mana, because our man is in other things. I think Chaitanya was saying, if you cannot give your man, your heart to Krishna, give what is in the heart to Krishna. So one of the things in the heart is money. One of the things. There are many other things in the heart. One of the things is money. Give money. One thing. So you should give to Krishna. You should give to Krishna. So Jnana Yajna is always higher. Why Sarva Karma Akhilam Partha? Why are we giving even $100 to Krishna? Why are we giving? So that my name can come at the front. That may be a desire, that's all right. Be honest. Huh? But that's not the end of that yajna. Giving $100 or 1,000 or 1 million even. It should be connected to Krishna intellectually. Once that connection is made, then 100 or 10 million, or that doesn't matter, or even $1 matters. You remember the story of Gautam Buddha? He announced through his disciples in the whole village that I will accept charity today. So everyone came and giving charity to Mahatma Buddha. He was sitting under a tree and he was accepting money and other possessions of different people. And he's like, okay, all right. One Buddha came, one old lady came. She offered Mahatma Buddha half-eaten apple. And Mahatma Buddha came out of his seat and did pranam to this old lady. And everyone is like, different big merchants came and they gave, thousands of dollars or rupees, whatever. But you did not budge from your seat. But this Buddha, this old lady, gave half-eaten apple to you. And then you left your seat and you're doing pranam to this old lady. Why? What was the reason? Sahi Radhika Mataji is nodding the head, so maybe you can explain.
She just had that apple, and that's also that she offered. So
yeah, so that's the only position she had. So Krishna doesn't say how much you offer. Krishna says how much you hold back. If I give $100 and I have $100 million in my account, Krishna is like, not very nice. But if someone doesn't have anything, offers $1 to Krishna, Krishna appreciates it a lot. So that's the whole principle. So Sarva Karma Akhilam. Akhilam, as Mataji said, Akhila refers to Akhilam Madhuram. Akhil means everything is Madhur of Chaitanya. Sarva Karma. So all our karma, Akhilam, where should we end up culminate in Jnana Yajna? So whatever we are doing externally for Krishna, whether we are speaking for Krishna, cooking for Krishna, decorating for Krishna, bringing money for Krishna, book distribution for Krishna, eventually that should culminate in what? Jnane Parisamapyate. They should culminate in Jnana. By this knowledge, by this purification, I'm coming closer to Krishna. That is at least the purpose of it. If that purpose is not there, everything at least becomes external. What's the thing which you chant in the morning after Mahabharata? I always get Bhavna and Namte. So what's that verse in Bengali? Any Bengali devotees here? Vinay Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
After Mangala Arati, what verse do we chant, Prabhuji, in the morning? After Tulsi Arati finishes? You can chant Krishna's name for many, many verses.
Bahujanma Karayadi Shravana Kirtan.
Thank you, Rupa Prabhuji. Thank you, Vinay Prabhu. I always get confused with Sanskrit, but anyway, so what that verse says, you can chant Krishna's name for many, many births. You will not get the love of God. You will not get the love. Why? Because we are not attaching ourselves with Jnana. We are attaching ourselves to Krishna with external. I attach myself with my neighbor externally. Hi, hello, how are you? We may go and help him or her sometime as well. That's okay. Very external relation. There's no heart relation. If your heart is there, even if you're sitting in India, you're sitting about Sydney, isn't it? Right or wrong? No? You leave your kid here and go to India, where your mind will be. Your body may be in wherever part of the world, because you have a deep attachment with that person here. So that makes sense? Because Gyan, my kid, my family, whatever so your mind is always there. And where does a person live? Where his or her mind is, not the body is. I can be in Vrindavan, but what does it matter? What does it matter? In one sense, it doesn't matter. It says that by buying a ticket, you cannot reach to Vrindavan. You cannot reach to Vrindavan just by physical a ticket. Go to Delhi, catch a taxi, go to Vrindavan. Okay. Millions of people do that. Are they really going to Vrindavan? Not sure. It will be beneficial, no doubt, but are they really going to Vrindavan? Not too sure. Jnane Paris, because they are not intellectually connecting with Krishna. This is everything. My Guru Maharaj is saying there's no Vrindavan in this whole universe except this. This is the only place in the whole universe, not Earth, whole universe. There's no other Vrindavan. This is the only place. Demigods also die to come and serve here. Even Narad Muni, Sankadik Rishis, they are dying to come to Vrindavan, Barsana, Raval. These are the places where we should belong to. Maybe not physically, that's okay, but intellectually. Jnane Parisamaptite. Okay, let's move forward to the last verse, which we started last week, but we haven't completed it. It's one of the most important verses. Let's see how far we go. So we'll read this verse. Who will read? Pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninastattvadarshinaha.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Sorry, I was just looking myself in this big TV screen, and I'm looking at, looks like I'm looking at the roof. So sorry, I'm not looking at the roof, I'm looking at all of you. I have today 3 screens and plus 4th devotees in person as well. So please don't mind. I'm looking at all of you. So Tad Vidhi Pranipate. So what's the relation between 433? Okay, sorry, Priya Mataji, you have a question from previous verse?
I just want, not previous, I just thought, is there some connection that can be made, Prabhu? I can't remember the
Definitely.
number the verse, but you know, the one where Arjuna is also seeking that, you know, the Karpanya Dosha one, like where he's, you know, I'm in that stage where I need you to be my, you know, spiritual master, you to guide. That's, or is that different?
Yes, Mataji, the whole Bhagavad Gita is based on that only. That the whole thing, because I am in a Karpana statement against selfish. The Prabhupada writes in the purport there, Karpanya, and the opposite of Karpanya, Karpan in Hindi or Sanskrit. Karpan is Kanjus. The opposite of Kanjus is Brahmana. So what is the difference between Karpana and a Brahmana? Karpana is very selfish person, always thinking about myself. And a Brahman is a person who's always thinking about others. So Arjuna accepts himself. I'm being selfish, miserly. So my miserly weakness is stopping me to do my duty. So you please, Sishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. So I'm Prapannam, I'm surrendered to you. I have become your disciple. Please guide me. So Mataji, whole Bhagavad Gita is based on that. So definitely there's a relation. When I say the relation, my immediate meaning was, what's the relation between 433 and 434? Yes, ma'am.
433, we say that Jnana sacrifice is more better than Dravya.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, how we can get that Jnana?
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah? So it says, Sarvam Karmakhilam Partha Jnane Parisamapriti. So everything Partha should culminate in Jnana, knowledge. So Arjun's obvious question is, where do we get the knowledge and how do we get the knowledge? So you say, okay, get me a pineapple. So Kindu will ask, Mama, where do we get pineapple? Mama say, go to Coles. And how do we get it? Pay him $5 or whatever. Huh? So where do we get it from and how do we get it? So that's a question Arjun has. We have. So Krishna answers that question in this particular verse. So what's the answer? One line answer. Jnaninas tattva darshinaha. What does tattva refers to here?
Tattva is the truth and knowledge.
Truth. Yep. Darshana refers to who has seen the truth. Now here darshana does not just refers to seers of the truth. He has experienced or realized the truth. Huh? Jnaninas, the word jnani is used here, not bhakta. We are in Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of jnani word here?
Spiritual master.
No, that is okay. That's a literal. Just as a literal translation. There's a contextual translation. There's a Vaishnava translation.
The one who has this knowledge.
Yes.
Is Jnani. Like, what is the knowledge?
Correct.
Like, to know that we are servants of Krishna.
Yeah, that's detailed. But you just look at the words here. Just look at the word generally. In the previous verse, what was the ending of the previous verse? Jnane parisamapyate. So that's where we started the linking, right? So we need jnana. Huh? So now, when we say we need pineapple or raspberry, whatever, you have to tell a shop where raspberry is. You'll not say, okay, a raspberry has vitamin C in it and vitamin D in it or whatever. That's detailed. So you say jnanina. So the question was asked, where we will find the jnana? So this, from that we are relating this jnana word, right? Now, what's the meaning of it? That we can say that jnana is not a Mayavadi jnana, that's a Vaishnava jnana. Huh? That's the meaning of it. But that's why Krishna is saying. And which section we are in? What's the chapter's name? Transcendental knowledge. What's the Sanskrit name of this chapter? Anyone? Sanskrit name.
Jnana karma sannyasa.
Jnana karma sannyasa. So Jnana karma sannyasa. Yes, you're right, Prabhuji. Huh? Transcendental knowledge. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's given in Gorakhpur Gita Praise Bhagavad Gita, which Chaitanya Prabhu also refers to. Huh? So Prabhupada translated that as transcendental knowledge. So we are looking for knowledge, jnana. So we are in that section. So forget the details of it. That's why Krishna says Jnanina Saptadarshana. I'm not saying Bhakti Tattvadarshana. He's talking about Jnanina Saptadarshana. But obviously the detailed meaning of that word is real jnana, not any other jnana. So Jnanina Saptadarshana. Now this is where we get the knowledge. Where do we get the knowledge? From the jnanis who have seen the truth. That means we have realized the truth. Now, how do we get the knowledge from this person? Why would he give me the knowledge? By some person possesses something. Why would he give me? He possesses the iPhone 16. Does it exist? I'm not sure. But go and get i16 from him or her. Why would he give i16? So why would he give the knowledge? Why would he give? Anyone? Sorry, I should rather ask, how would he give? How would he give? Huh? How would he give? 3 words are used. What are the 3 words? We all know that. Pranipatena, Pariprashnena, Seva. Okay? So they know and they can impart. Upadekshanti refers to Upadesha, giving instructions. So te Upadekshanti, they will give Upadesha of this jnana which we are asking because they are Darshanaha. They have seen the truth. Okay? Now, tattva word is used in this chapter another place. What's that verse? Everyone can say. Tattva word is used in this chapter elsewhere. A very popular verse. Everyone knows this. If I just say the first word, you will say 4.9. Janma karma. Again. Janma karma se me divya. Evam yo veti tattvataha. Tattvataha. Vadati tattva vidas. 1:11 in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the 3 kinds of the 3 ways absolute truth can be realized. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan Shabdate. So 1:11, 4.9, 4:34, they all have this word tattva. So what is that tattva? Obviously, this is a point of some detailed discussion, but we know what tattva we are talking about. Again, our relationship with Krishna. So they have seen the tattva, they have realized the tattva. And Prabhupada gives a very famous example. So we are all burning the forest fire. Who can help us in the forest fire, which is not a part of the forest fire? Bhakti Maharaj also gives this example. Everyone in the room, hands are bound, but who can unbound your hand? Whose hands are not bound? He can help. So this is that person. Now, pranipatena, pariprashrena, and savior. Let's look at these three words. What does pranipatena mean? Simple translation. So, humbly approach. Okay, or more? Anyone else? Pranipatena.
Surrendering, Prabhu.
Surrendering. Good, good. Or so take two parts. Huh? So yes, that's what actually I'm looking for. So there's a physical aspect and there is a mental aspect. So what you said, Mataji, that's mental aspect. Physical is Dandavat Pranam, for example. No? So first when you approach to a spiritual master, at least you do Pranam. We're talking physical aspect. Now, that's not everything, but that's one etiquette. And the second thing is we approach humbly. Now, Pranipatena, say external Dandavat Pranam, is a sign of humility. That's not the total humility. That's a sign of humility. You can do a Pranam, you can still like, I don't like this person.
Duryodhana says the same.
Duryodhana says the same thing. So Duryodhana serves Durvasa Muni, for example. Is he really serving Durvasa Muni? He is not. He has a very ulterior motive of serving Durvasa Muni. So Pranipatena, you have to take two aspects. So one physical aspect, external aspect of it, and one is the internal. So external is you show some symptoms through your body where you say, I am humble. You may not be humble, but you can show some symptoms. One Prabhupada disciple said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I don't feel like going down to you. What was the response of Prabhupada? You bow down first, feelings will come later. Now, is Prabhupada telling someone to bow down and I'm great? No. Prabhupada is training them. It says when Prabhupada established ISKCON for the first time in 1966, he had his first Vyas Puja organized. Prabhupada's first Vyas Puja organized by whom? Prabhupada. Now we organize our Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja, whatever little we do. And so all of the disciples, now Guru doesn't come in between and say, oh, you put my chair there, you put this flower to me, you read the Prabhupada was doing that. And you can think from external point of view, hey, this Guru is telling, read offering to me, offer some bhoga to me, offer garland to me, I'll be sitting here. Just imagine how embarrassing it will be, even for a parent to tell your child to touch my feet. Is it embarrassing? So embarrassing. And Shastra says you should never do that. Someone else should train your child to do that. You should never say you touch. There may not be anyone available for training purposes, but that's very embarrassing actually. Prabhupada did that. And you know what happened on the very first day? Just day after Janmashtami, the whole Vyas Puja was ruined. But no one could do anything. It was so new people, no one's fault. Prabhupada said, let's do it again. So next day again he organized his own Vyas Puja. We were talking 1966 first time. So Prabhupada did all that for what purpose? He didn't want any glorification. We want, to be very honest, we like glorification. Prabhupada had zero desire, but he had to do it for what purpose? If I don't train him, who else will train them? Prabhupada organized marriage yajnas for their disciples. And he said, if I don't do marriage ceremony for my disciples, who else will do? So he's on a very different platform, but I'm just comparing. So one is a physical part. Rupa and Sanatan, when they approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the very first time, what did they do? Pranipatena. Pranipatena, physically they bowed down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they had a blade of grass in their teeth. What does that represent? I'm like a pashu, I'm like an animal. So you please help this animal. And when they got up, what was their first question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Anyone? They said in Bengali, I don't know too much Bengali. No Bengali, I should rather say. What did they say? Anyone? English, Hindi, chalega? Anyone? Ke-ami. That's the first thing they said. Ke-ami. I don't know why. People call me Pandit. Rupa Goswami says, people call me Pandit, and they were Pandit. You know how many languages they were proficient in? Not just, I can speak chalega, Marathi, Akkha, India, and all that. No. They were proficient in 16 languages. They could read, write, and speak in 16 languages. So people called them Pandit for a reason. But they say people call us Pandit. They said this in Bengali. I'm saying in English. But I don't even know, I don't even know who I am. I am a fool, number one. And the second thing they said, I don't know who I am, and I don't know why these three tapas are troubling me. Huh? Why these three tapas? This is a question of Rupa and Sanatan. Just imagine, they had Gupta Vrindavan that time. They were efficient in 16 languages. They were the government officials, top post government officials. Look at their humility. And we learn 5 shlokas and we think, we are the next savior of the whole world after Prabhupada. At least we think in our mind, we don't say it. It looks embarrassing. We think like that. I know Bhagavad Gita. I can train these people. Look at Rupa and Sanatan. Huh? They are the knower of whole Bhagavatam, what to speak of. Just Bhagavad Gita, they were worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were corresponding with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they did pranipatena externally as well as internally. This is called approaching a spiritual master with humility. 11.3.21 in Bhagavatam, Uddha Gita, Krishna tells Uddhava, Tasmad Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. Tasmad, that person should approach a guru, a spiritual master, who has a jigyasa, inquisitiveness of Shreya Uttamam. Now, we also have many other desires in our heart, and we approach our guru. How can we look better in the temple community? How can I become temple president? And Radha Govind Maharaj was telling, I'm repeating his words, don't take me. He's like, they come and ask, Maharaj, koi ladki hai to bata dijiye. Maharaj, do you have a suitable match for me? Radha Govind Maharaj is saying in his classes. So he's saying, if you are having mindset of these questions in your mind and you're approaching a spiritual master, that's not what Bhagavatam says. Radha Govind Maharaj said, you should not approach a spiritual master. Now, people do in the spiritual master respond. I'm remembering Bhakti Maharaj. He asked so many personal questions for our sake, not his sake, for our sake. Huh? Is he interested? But he knows our level is so low. Our level is so low. So he comes down to our level so that, they can get some inspiration to come up higher. But Bhagavatam says you should not approach a spiritual master for these reasons. You should only approach like Rupa and Sanatana. So what I'm trying to say, this is called pranipatena. Be humble in front of spiritual master for an inquiry about a real Shreya. Shreya Uttamam. Huh? Shreya can be, Maharaj, my long-term goal in Australia. That's Shreya, long-term goal. No, that's not the Shreya Bhagavatam is talking about. Shreya Uttamam. Uttama, Tama refers to the darkness, one who can uplift you from darkness. It's all darkness. My goal in Australia, America, this and that. It's all Tama, it's all ignorance, it's all darkness. So if you are in Tama, as per what, you should not approach the spiritual master. Radha Govind Maharaj says, if your eyes are fed up with the material world, then you should approach the spiritual master. That situation will never happen. No? Our eyes are engrossed in the material world, So look at the mercy of these sannyasis and senior Vaishnavas. Huh? They still come down to our level and try to, boost us up. Chalega. Your job chalega, your family chalega, your car chalega, everything chalega. Better just chant sincerely. Go and do some service to Radha Gopinath. Be in the right association of good devotees. That's how practically they say. But actually, it's a lot more than that. Prabhupada gave his life for Krishna. Prabhupada appreciated Jesus Christ. He gave his life. Maybe not for Krishna, but for religion, for good cause. Prabhupada appreciated Jesus Christ. This is called pranipatena. I'm just trying to expand on it. And if you have any hesitation in this pranipatena, in our humility, my Guru Maharaj said, if you hesitate, if you say no to your spiritual master, that means you're stopping the mercy. You're stopping the mercy. So anytime spiritual master says something, although they are very, very kind and very compassionate, and you may not be able to do the job, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. You should again approach the spiritual master. You said like that, I am not able to do it because of my limitation. You tell me how do I do it? Because it says with the instruction comes the empowerment. And here comes the little empowerment. Okay. So little Jiva hearing our katha is called cockroach in Hindi or English. So he's coming towards me. So I said, little empowerment is coming. And it's sort of inspiring me to move from my place. Okay, so let's move forward. Pranipatena, we understand pranipatena? Real humility is not just external pranipatena, external going down, which is definitely important. Real humility, we understand that we need to get out of this world. We need to get out of this. And when you have to get out of this world, chale jayenge. Jaldi kya hai? What's the haste? Will go? No, that's not pranipatena again. I have a disease. I need to get cured immediately. When you have a stomach pain, what do? I got out of my car and my boy was saying I have a stomach pain. I'm like, what do we do now? Anyway, we did something and he's fine now. So when do we get out of this material world? At least theoretically. Internally, family has most projects and so many projects I have to fulfill, so many things I have to do, this, that. No, that's not a proper approach. So now, at least in theory, we can say and tell our mind, now is the time to get out. That is called pranipatena. Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
Prabhuji, quickly just wanted to ask, like in the 4.33, Krishna is saying the highest or the greatest is the Jnana Yajna. So in the 28th, there were like 4 yajnas. So just wanted to understand the principle behind any yajna. The hierarchy is of course there and Jnana is on the top. The principle behind is to go closer to Krishna.
Yes, you were a for Krishna and Nityananda. So you not only know this line, you realize this line. Now you may not know how to serve your father, that's one thing, but you have a feeling of serving your father. But if you don't have a feeling, first you don't know who your father is, second you don't have any feelings. So next time, okay, someone tells you he's your father. Okay, nice. So what? The next stage will be, no, he's my father, so I need to do something. He has done so much for me. Let me reciprocate something. Then the third stage can be, but my father needs prasadam. I don't know how to do prasadam. So, stage by step, you're coming closer to your father. So first is to know your father. Second is, what do I do for my father? Then how do I do for my father? So all these stages, we are coming closer to Krishna.
That's why Jnana Yajna is in the top, because you understand what's...
But this Jnana Yajna we are talking here is a Vaishnav Jnana Yajna.
Yeah.
There are 2 types. You'll read in NOD introduced Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. So I will tell very simple version here. Jiva Goswami has expanded on the Jnana. It's a Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. It is uncovered by predominating knowledge. So it's not Jnana Karmadi Shunyam. It's a Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. So Jnana exists, Karma exists. But what does not exist? A Jnana which predominates our service attitude. So we are also studying Bhagavad Gita. It's Jnana, right? But this Jnana has a purpose, very clear purpose to it. And that purpose is to purify ourselves, to come closer to the Lord, become dear to the Lord. But the other Jnanis who are after the Jnana to realize Aham Brahmasmi, there you can say sadhana and sadhya is same. I realize, I say in theory, Aham Brahmasmi, I have to realize this and that's it. So their sadhya, their final destination is to realize Aham Brahmasmi and that's it. But for us Vaishnavas, actually we start from that point. Where they end, we start from there. Our starting point is, you're not the body, you're the soul. Very nice. So how do I serve the Lord in that way? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Where I was. Pranipatena. We understood Pranipatena word a little bit. One more example which comes to my mind. Unless you are humble, you cannot receive. It says, water always flows from top to down. So if you said, if you have a problem, you go to the doctor and doctor tells you some sort of remedy, you do this, you go home, you do this and that, that's these are some yoga or whatever, or maybe some external medication or some yogi, whatever. It will help you to relieve that symptom, right? That. But then you started, alright? I know more than you. So doctor, so why did you come to me? Isn't it? So if you don't have humility, you cannot get even the material world any prescriptions, right? So first you have to show you are humble, you want it, and this external, that internal also, you have to have an urge inside. I'm in ignorance. I need to get out. I'm suffering. Every day I'm suffering. I need to get out. So you humbly approach. Okay. Now, approaching itself is not enough. The second step should be pariprashnena. Pariprashnena. So simply you can say prashna, inquisitiveness, which is fine. But what sort of inquisitiveness? So like we said, as Anand Maharaj, there are many inquisitiveness in our hearts. We approach our Dharma Pranam Guru Maharaj, and then we ask or tell all the problems of the world. Okay, so what's the big deal, isn't it? honestly, what's the big deal about it? Prabhupada had problems, sannyasis have problems, everyone has problems. So nothing so big about it. Kaler dosho nidhe rajan asti hi eko mahan guna. So what's the guna of Kali Yuga? First guna of Kaler dosho nidhe rajan. So what's the guna? Kaler dosho nidhe. Nidhi means you have Nidhi Mataji here. Obviously, Nidhi Mataji is khajana, treasure of what? Good qualities. But Kali Yuga is a treasure of what? Bad qualities. That's what Shastra says. Huh? An example given in that purport is, if you are in the ocean and you show someone, Mataji, Prabhuji, look at the water, I found the water. You are in the middle of the ocean. What else you will see if not water? So if I say, oh, that person is faulty, that person is faulty, that person is faulty, am I doing some great job? People will laugh at me. Yes, you are in Kali Yuga. The faults will be surrounding you. But by the way, why are you here? They are here, I understand, they are faulty. Why are you here? Simple example, in the hospital, I'm in a bed and I tell to my next bed, oh, you diseased person. My left is a diseased person, my right is a diseased person. What they're going to tell to me? You're also admitted on one of the beds. Huh? Oh, sorry, I forgot that. So we usually frequently forget that we are also sick. So how to remove our sickness, that should be our question, not how to remove other sickness. Now, initially at least. Huh? Now, Prabhupada is interested in removing other sickness because he's crossed the stage. We should be inquiring about how can we remove ourselves from this ignorance and darkness and this selfish way of life. How can we remove ourselves? That should be the inquiry done to the doctor in a pranipate, external and internal. Is that okay? So first step is clear. We approach a doctor in a humble, not only external but internal way. Then we inquire about a relevant subject matter. Now, irrelevant may be there, you are going through some sort of life-threatening situation, so you approach. That's okay. Drop the approach as well. Huh? Hey Govind, hey Dwarkadish, please come and help. That may be the situation. Jiva Goswami writes in Anya Vidasashunam commentary, Draupadi calling out for Krishna, Gajendra calling out for Krishna is not a fault on their devotional aspect. So if a devotee is in an emergency situation, they can call to Krishna for a physical help as well. That's okay. But if we go back to Ambarish Maharaj, he did not call. But he said, oh, Draupadi calls, so Draupadi's devotion is lower. No, not like that. Not like that. But there are examples. Ambarish was threatened for his life. He just stood with a folded hands, no problem. That is coming, no problem. Parikshit, he just stood, folded hands, no problem. He could have countercursed it. He could have stopped the death. He could win Kali. He could not countercurse a Shringi's curse. No. But Draupadi and Gajendra's are also examples given. Uttara approaching Krishna for protection. That's fine. So relevant inquiry. And it can be a Draupadi calling and you calling, that's okay. But that should not be our regular business. Draupadi did it one off, Gajendra did one off, fine. Draupadi, okay, for the Rasamuni instance again, Krishna, please help. That's fine. Devotees only Shakti Krishna. So that should not be our regular business. Every day you come and ask for bread. Krishna, give me my daily bread. Huh? Our only business. Huh? Our only business. Not regular, only business. Devotees are so expert in words now. Huh? Not regular, only business. So more depth in there. Thank you. So you understand the difference? Now let's go to the third one. Sevaya. What does Sevaya mean? Now it looks like a very simple word actually. Okay, simple. Literal translation Seva is service. Let's relate to first two words and then come to the third word. So what's the first two words? Pranipaten and Pariprashya. So we have approached in an example at least with humility to our spiritual master, physical as well as internal. Obviously internal matters more. We have inquired nicely. Then how do we start seeing, okay, what's the target here? Let's look at the target and then we work backwards. So he is a Tattvadarshi, we are not. That's clear, right? He's a PhD, he's a doctor, I'm not. For example, very mundane example. Now, I have approached to him humbly, I have inquired him, but still, have I become a Tattvadarshi? So you go to NY, what's the NY verse 1? Mansa Begum, what's the first word? Vacha Vegam, Mansa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Uddarpasta Vegam. So all these Vegas. So that verse 1 of NOI, Nectar of Instruction, is applicable on the seekers as well as for the seers. So seeker is, I want to become a devotee. So Rupa Goswami says, follow these 6 things, right? The one who has become devotee, is he not following that? You see, Sarvam Apimam Praktim Shishya. So he is eligible to make disciples all over the world. He says that. Huh? So our Lakshya, our purpose, our target is to become Krishna. So now we are here and this person is here. How do we become from a seeker to a seer? That is called Sevaya. So we have inquired about it. Doctor has given you prescription, but unless you take the medication, will the medicine work? Doctor has given you best medication of the world. You know, Prabhuji and Mataji, this costs $1 million. This is the best medication available to remove this cancer or whatever else. Some lung disease, Mataji brings out a new medicine. Huh? You tell all the good qualities of medicine. He's like, thank you so much for it. He paid for it and give another $100 on top of it. But the medicine is going to work at this stage right now? Yes or no? Not sure about it. No? Not sure about it. Medicine will work. I got the medicine, the best medicine in the world available, in the universe available. Doctor is the best. Medicine is the best. Is the medicine going to work at this stage right now? I have the medicine in my hand. Got it. What I have to do? Take a glass of water, take the pill inside. That is called Seva. Guru is the best. Knowledge given to, the question asked to Guru is the best. Knowledge given by Guru is the best. But when we come home, we are not the best. Let's relax. India-Pakistan match is the best. Not that I like India-Pakistan match is the best, but I'm just giving an example is the best. So whatever, India-Pakistan or blah, blah, blah. So that is called Sevaya. Sevaya is the thing by which you will become a Tattva-darshina. Example given in Mahabharata, which comes to my mind. Examples are possible. What was the name of that disciple? What was the name? What's this famous disciple in Mahabharata? One and the only one in Mahabharata. Huh? No, that's not a famous disciple.
Barbaric.
Huh?
Barbaric.
No, disciple of Dhamya Rishi. Disciple of Dhamya Rishi. I know his name like that, but anyway. One disciple of Dhamya Rishi is very famous in Mahabharata. Many sannyasis speak about it, and I've heard in one of the lectures. Anyway, this disciple, I'm not going into too much details. A long story short, he was such an obedient disciple. His guru, very young, 15-year-old boy or something, very, very young, very obedient disciple. His guru blessed him. From today onward, I love the blessings. I don't know how to get it, but he said, because of your obedience, I have so much love for you now. From today, you have all the knowledge of all the scriptures revealed in your heart. You don't have to study anything. Love it. What's the name? Upamanyu. Thank you. Upamanyu. Yeah, Google ka kamal. Yes. अरे अभी यहाँ से निकलेंगे याद आ जाएगा. Upamanyu. You can Google it. But there are multiple versions of the story, so don't get distracted by multiple versions. But it's a valid Mahabharata story. It's spoken in our ISKCON. Upamanyu was such an obedient disciple. I love his pastime. His guru gave these blessings. I love the pastime with the conclusion. All the scriptures will be revealed in your heart. Huh? This is called Sevaya. So the purpose of the Seva is not to achieve extra knowledge, extra Bhakti Shastri certificate, Bhakti Vedanta certificate. By this Seva, we also become Tattva-darshina. We start seeing the world as the Kalyam Shashvatam. When we approach Guru very humbly, with nice dhoti, kurta, sari, whatever it may be. But then when we come out of that room, do we really realize this world is the Kalyam Shashvatam? No. Where is the Kalyam? Where is Shashvatam? My car is super good. My job is super good. My bank balance is super good. Where is Dukkha? I can buy so many things. I can buy so many people. I can buy powers. With my clothing, I can impress so many people. And with my shloka, I can impress people. With my knowledge, I can impress people. With my humility, I can impress people. In the heart, we still think it's not Dukkha and Shashvatam. That is not Seva. That is not, sorry. Yeah, you can be on the way to Seva. That's all right. But at least the result of the Seva is you become Tattva-darshina. Prabhupada was at airport with Indrajit Maharaj. Indrajit Maharaj does this in his lecture, I just remember, very nice. And Maharaj was very tired. So Prabhupada, long story short, very nice. I have to tell you the story, otherwise you'll not get the gist of it. Seva. So Maharaj was very tired after a long journey, he had not eaten much. Other thing has happened. Anyway, so finally Prabhupada's luggage was lost at the airport. So Maharaj told me that Prabhupada had to stay back at the airport. So he took the luggage. Sorry, Prabhupada went away with other devotees and Maharaj stayed back at the airport so that luggage will come whenever after 1-2 hours. Anyway, luggage came after 4, 5, 6 hours. Very well. Finally, they found all the luggage of Prabhupada. Then Maharaj was hungry on the flight and staying at the airport. And that time, it was not so much opulence for Prabhupada's servant who are just traveling. They took Prabhupada, but not worried too much about the servant of Prabhupada. Anyway, and there's a festival where Prabhupada was supposed to speak. So Prabhupada left in the evening program, Dada speech and Master, whatever it was. Prabhupada gave class and the whole festival finished. Maharaj came around 10:30 in the night with all the luggage. And then when he came, everyone was almost asleep. He's like, okay, I'm so tired, I'm so hungry, there's nothing there. Anyway, so he came inside, and then the first question he asked, that's what Maharaj said, is there any prasadam? And devotee said, today so many people came, all prasadam finished. Thank you, Krishna. Anyway, so he thought, let me do my final duty, to take luggage of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada's room was in the second level, second floor somewhere. And he said, I was dragging each suitcase step by step. And I arrived finally in the room of Prabhupada. And then I did Dandavat to Prabhupada and I was finished. Then Prabhupada put his hand on my shoulder, Maharaj said. And he said, I know in the room it's difficult. I know it's difficult. And Maharaj said, I felt very good on the hand of Prabhupada. Then see what happened. This is the first episode of the story, second episode, but very, very fast. So the next day or the day after, whenever this program finished, they went to the airport. And it's a big airport in some city, which I can't remember. Anyway, so many people running here and there, running here and there. So Prabhupada again put his hand on Maharaj's shoulder when they were waiting for the flight. And Maharaj asked Maharaj, do you see how passionate these people are? How much they are suffering? And Maharaj said, I was honest and I said, okay. I was not realizing in my heart. Then Prabhupada again tapped on his shoulder and said, do you see how much they are suffering, how much they are in passion? Third time Prabhupada said, do you see how much they are in passion? Prabhupada kept tapping his shoulder. And the third time Maharaj said this, I could see these people suffer. You understand? So Maharaj could internalize what we externally say. This is called Seva. Due to the Seva, sincere service, this is just one example. There's so many. These young people who came and joined Krishna consciousness at a very relatively late age, they had no idea about Krishna, became such a big Vaishnava because of their sincere services to Prabhupada, and they also became Tattvadarshina. Now we see Prabhupada disciples, shaking the whole world. Prabhupada left this world probably 40-45 years ago because Prabhupada, through the Seva, has made them Tattvadarshina. So what's the purpose of Seva? It's not just, I wash the clothes. That's very nice. I'm not denying that. That's one meaning, and we must do it. Cook for spiritual master. Real Seva will be reflected in you becoming Tattvadarshina for you. That's called Seva to the spiritual master. And that is actually a very deep subject matter, very, very deep subject matter. And that again comes back. So you take the backward. Now Seva will come by inquisitiveness, and inquisitiveness will only come by pranipati. The problem is in the first stage. We are not pranipati. We're not asking the right questions. We're not doing the right Seva, again the right mood. Now, every Seva is nice. It's not the Seva is wrong, it's the mood of the Seva. So if we correct this ordering correctly in the proper depth, what will the purpose? Achieve the Tattvadarshina. Okay, it's a very beautiful verse. You can speak actually this verse a lot. But let's move forward. It's a Bhakti Shastri. So we are supposed to run a little faster. Okay. Anyone has any questions or comments or sharing? Priya Mataji.
I just want to rephrase that. When the last part you said, so the real seva is becoming tattva darshana.
That's the purpose of seva, Mataji. So when a disciple performs seva, the actual goal will be achieved, which is you will become tattva darshana. Now, you may be not realizing the whole truth in day one. That's fine. But you start seeing the world through the eyes of Shastra. Yes, this world is Dukhalayam. This is Ashashtam. The things of this world does not satisfy my heart. There's always this incompleteness in me, in my relation to other people or to other things. You feel an emptiness in your heart, and you're trying to fulfill that emptiness, not with another material things, but with Krishna or Krishna Seva or with your spiritual master's instruction. That's where you start seeing the truth, because there's a lot of difference in knowing the truth and seeing the truth. That is called Gyan and Vigyan. So what we are doing right now is Gyan. Obviously the purpose is right, but Gyan, we are on a very intellectual platform, memorizing the shlokas, and I'm sharing something which I have heard or tried, whatever. But that's on an intellectual platform, not on a devotional platform at this stage. But the purpose is to become a devotional platform, and that will come through Seva. It is very it's a part of the deck. Just FYI. Okay.
Okay. So when you said knowing the truth through the Shastra, so you know that there's no real happiness. So this is Dukhalaya Shastra.
You realize it. You realize it in your heart. Actually, this car, this house, or this person, this friends, they're not going to make me happy. You realize it in your heart. Like why people have so many friends, why people have so many possessions, dresses, cars, and money and all that. They hanker for it because they're empty from inside, and they want to fulfill that emptiness of the heart through other things. And their emptiness never goes. And you see many times, if not all, the rich people are extremely empty. Poor people will still be okay, because they are really empty in the heart. They have no friends. Their parents, they may give a lot of money. The parents doesn't give enough time to the children. So the emptiness keep increasing in their heart. So when we realize it in our heart, then we forget the material part of it. Forget making another job, another relation, another possession. Just forget it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You do what you need to do externally. Inside heart, you have no hopes. No hopes. Then you put your hopes towards Krishna. This is what the real thing is. This is the real stuff. Let me put my heart and soul for this one. And then you feel real happiness. Now, that happiness may not be the end of the happiness, it's beginning of the journey, but at least you have embarked on the train or on the plane. You're going to Vrindavan, you leave Sydney, after 1 hour. You can't be called you're in Vrindavan, but at the same time, I can say, Mother is going to Vrindavan, isn't it? You're on the journey. You're not reached it, but you have embarked on the plane, you're on the plane, and I can say, Mother is going to Vrindavan. No? So that's the beginning of the journey, but that's in reality. That's in reality. Okay. Hare Krishna. Let's move forward.
Oh, before
Hare Krishna.
Quickly, bro. Bro, did you say that the journey between seva, inquisitiveness, and approaching to the spiritual master pratena, is that a linear way of doing so?
Yes,
seva
Prabhuji.
leads to inquisitiveness. Okay.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. You will only do seva when you have a relation. Like a simple example, you serve your child. You have a relation. There are hundreds of child in your sort of surroundings. You don't serve every single child, and you may serve if need. There's a need. You will help your neighbor. You will help your friend. That's fine. But the seva which you render to your mother, to your family, to your kid, is different, right? Because you have that understanding of the relationship. You give that importance, right? Everyone does it. It is linear. It is linear. But in one way, it can be cyclic. Suppose I don't feel like serving, but my friend said, just make a cookie for a program, for example. So that also become a Gyat-Sukati. So we start from seva, and then humility comes later. As I said, Prabhupada's example, you bow down now, and the feeling will come later. That can be cyclic. But in depth, it's linear. Now, Prabhupada can't force a person to bow down. He can only say, right? If he doesn't feel, one Prabhupada disciples, Indian body gentleman, I just remembered, he did not go down to Prabhupada for a couple of times. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj, some words he said, I can't remember. His spiritual life is not going so well. After a few days, he left the movement. Prabhupada could see. Not that very soon he was not going on Prabhupada. Now we can't force. The spiritual master can tell, do this, do that. You can't force. And he left the movement. Some sannyasi was telling the class. So externals are also important. Okay, let's move forward. I just wanted to spend some time on this verse because this is very important. So I know I've taken a big portion of the class here, and I hope Samit Prabhu doesn't mind. He is our facilitator, so I have to.
No, Prabhu, please take as much time as you want.
Hare Prabhuji. Okay, I know you're very humble. Okay, let's do 4.35. Now, I have seen Manish Prabhu, Manmohan Prabhu today, but I have not spoken as yet. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I can't have your darshan, but I can do audio. Okay, maybe he's somewhere a little bit out. That's okay. Who has not read today? Sonia Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yajñātva na punarmoham.
Yajñātva na punarmoham.
Evam yashyasi Pandava.
Evam yashyasi Pandava.
Yena bhutani asheshani.
Yena bhutani asheshani.
Drakshasi atmani atho mayi.
Drakshasi atmani atho mayi.
Hare Krishna. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine.
Beautiful verse, very simple, you can translate. Yajñātva, by knowing that, so we're talking about where we're going to find it, for example, of Gyan. Now, what that Gyan is, Krishna is not explaining in this section. He will explain in 7th and 9th chapter, right? In detail. So we have just some Gyan, get the Gyan, this is the glories of the Gyan. Now, this last section, sorry, I didn't say, this is the glories of the Gyan. Now we are reading glories of the Gyan, 35 onwards. So we know where to find, how to find. Now, what are those glories? Now, what are the glories of that pineapple? Golden pineapple, for example. Yajñātva, if you know that, what's the immediate result? Na punar moha evam. So we understand punar, again, moha, illusion, evam. Now, whom Krishna is talking with? Arjuna. So the word punar is very important. Na punarjanna vidate. Punar means, so one is illusion, one is coming again into illusion. Now that applies on us, not on Arjuna, but we are illusion, but we again. Now, what does the again means? Many times you go to the classes, class, you have read the Prabhu, for example, of Amam, whatever, so many nice examples. But, such a fantastic, you really like it. But when you come back out of the class, do you do the same mistake again? Yes or no? I do. Fantastic class. This doctor gave a fantastic class. Mataji gives seminars to medical doctors. She gives fantastic reasons. She may not be, but what are the benefits of not smoking? You should not smoke. Fantastic, Mataji, what you spoke was fantastic, but I smoke cigarette outside. Class was fantastic. What are all the things why I should not smoke? Really, you delivered so well. Every point makes sense. Thank you very much. See you later. And I go out and smoke in the corridor. Is that a nice appreciation of the class? That is called punar moha evam. So what is the immediate result of getting the jnana? Relating back to the Savior, na punar moha evam. Then you will not fall into illusion to get the real jnana. That's what I was saying. The purpose, the goal of the Seva is Tatsudarshana. So if you have Tatsudarshana, will you ever fall down again? No. So this was saying the first immediate Yajñātva, if you know, na punar moha evam. Evam refers to certainly Krishna is promising Arjuna. Okay, Yasasi Pandava. Second thing, what are the two benefits? That's what that is glory of the Gyan. Yena, by knowing that, Yajñātva saying, Bhutani Asheshani. Bhutani refers to Bhutas. Bhuta. We're all Bhuta. We are Bhuta actually. But we are not ghost Bhuta as yet. We are Jiva Bhuta. Mame Vansha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Jiva Bhuta word is referred here. There are multiple types of Bhuta. We'll read in probably 17th chapter. What are different types of bhutas are there? Anyway, So Mame Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So we are also Bhutas. Bhutani, how many Bhutas are there? Asheshani. Dakshasya. Dakshasya refers to Dashyati, Pashyati, to see. So you will start seeing Asheshani Bhutani. Asheshani refers to every single Bhuta, every single Jiva. How you will start seeing, the last line is very important. Atmani Atho Mayi. Atmani refers to here based on a spiritual platform. So you will not see Bhuta as a male, female, Indian, American. This is plants, this is cat, dog, all this. You will start seeing the Dakshasi, Atmani. You will be seeing them as Atma platform. And the last word of this verse is the most beautiful. Mai, mera hai. Mine. So far, what we are seeing in the word, when we say aham mameti, me and mine, we relate that person or that possession with the body. This is my mobile, my house, my whatever. We don't say, at least feel, Krishna's house, Krishna's mobile, Krishna's children, Krishna's money. At least theoretically we say, but internally not sure. So, but if you really get the knowledge, again, you have become Tattvadarshana. Will you ever fall into illusion again? No. And you start seeing every living entity on a special platform and as mine. Not as mine, as mine. Mera parivar is my family. No, it's Krishna. You start seeing it, not just saying it. Huh? So what are the two benefits of getting the knowledge? Yajagyata punar mo evam na. So you will not fall into illusion again. That's one. Second, you will start seeing all the living entities, not only humans, not only my Indians or Australians, every Asheshani. Asheshani, no remains. All the Bhutas you will see as situated on a spiritual platform and as mine. This verse makes sense? It's very simple but very powerful verse. So now revert this verse back in the practical version. If in the society someone is saying, I am Bhagwan or I have seen Bhagwan and I am this Jnani, that Jnani, just apply these two things, those two filters on that particular Babaji or Mataji, whatever it is. Huh? Is this person in Moha here, on a very high level, you can say, is this person still attracted to material things? And can be name and fame as well. So if this person is attracted to material things, he has not gone young yet, as yet. Is she seeing every living entity as Krishna's? Is she or he seeing every living entity situated on a spiritual platform? Vidyavane Sampane Brahmanika Vistani? If not, forget it. Forget it. You are just a fake person. Simple. You are a fake person. Fake sannyasi, fake transcendentalist. Now, he or she may be on a journey, so we're not blaming the students here. No way. On a journey is also a student. They're studying for a nice purpose. But that's the filter you can apply. Okay, let's move 36. Who will read 36?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mata. Sorry, Prabhuji, one question here. Yeah.
Illusion here means Arjuna's, it's not Arjuna's.
Yes. You can say Arjuna's illusion. In this particular context, yes. Okay. You will not fall back into illusion.
Illusion. So that means that we are.
You will not like.
He's going to kill.
Today he gets inspired after Krishna's nice lecture, and tomorrow again back to zero. Now you see that happens in our temple as well, not only. Some people ask some questions, and next week again they ask the same question. The day after the same question. You talk to them, same topic, they will repeat again and again. Non-Krishna conscious topic, right? Yeah. That's called Punar Moha. The Moha is not gone. Or on a very high level, that's on an intellectual level, on a physical level, they're still attracted to, what sort of sofa do you have? What sort of car do you have? How do you look like? I went to some place that would say, when you say, actually, probably 16 ounces I'm talking, right? Dress does matter. He was very convincingly saying to me, honestly, he was fully convinced, dress does matter actually. And not talking about preaching here. Not preaching, yes, I agree, but just talking, fully, I didn't say anything. It's all right. He's elder to me. So he was fully convinced. I wasn't. I'm very open about it. I wasn't. I'm not. For a purpose, yes, it does matter. But if that purpose is removed, it doesn't matter. How your external appearance, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, got it. What you mean here is like once we become the third Pradeshana, you will not go back and ask, have the same question.
Yeah, same question, same attraction. Here we can say same attractions. Like we all have some attractions, right, for the material things.
Yes.
We all have it.
Yeah.
That shows we are not yet there.
Right.
And we definitely are not.
Yeah. Basically, I try to establish a connection between 34 and 35.
Yeah, definitely. That's the connection. So once you wake up, what's the filter? What's the test? This is the test. You're not attracted anymore to these mundane things. You're a different type of Prabhupada. Big example, but not attracted to the material world. Huh? He was dealing with the matter, but in a very spiritual way. Okay. Jai Prakash Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Api chedasi papebhyah
Api chedasi papebhyah
sarvebhyah papakrittamah
sarvebhyah papakrittamah
sarvam gnana plavenaiva
sarvam jnana plavenaiva
vrijinam shantarishyasi.
Vrijinam santarishyasi.
Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just thinking. Now, when we have started Bhagavad Gita, the time is up. I feel like now I'm starting. Okay, let's do this verse. So, what is the section we are discussing? The glories of this Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge. Second glory. Look at this verse. Beautiful. Api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah. So now in English we know we have a good, better, and best. So there's a comparative degree and superlative degree. So krittamaha, uttamaha, they're all refers to as. So there's a Bhagavatam, there is priya, priyatara, and priyatama. So when a tama comes, this is superlative degree. When a tara comes, this is a comparative degree. It's better. Priya is love. You read in Shiva Bhagavatam many verses called priyatam. Priyatam is most beloved. They say, some say priya, dear to me. So priyatar is priya. So here is used papakrittamah. In papis, you are the topmost. So api chedasi papebhyah, in pap, you're not talking about good deeds. You're taking papi in bad deeds. You are the papakrittamah, you're the topmost. Even if you are api chedasi, even if you are the topmost sinner. That's what it's saying. Sarvam jnana pleve neva. Pleve neva refers to the boat. Plavan karma is a word in Sanskrit. Plavan means to go on the top, basically. So here it refers to the boat of jnana. Jnana pleve neva. Jnana pleve means the boat of the transcendental knowledge. So even if you are the biggest sinner, but if you are sitting in the boat of transcendental knowledge, what if Brajinam Sankarishyasi, you'll be able to cross over. So now go back to the verse 35 and say, oh, I am in moha and I am all the problems with me. I'm the sinful person, I've done this and that and that. Bhagavad Gita says, no problem, no problem. 436. Api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah. Even if you're the topmost sinner, where should you sit? Sit in the boat of transcendental knowledge. What will be the result? Brajinam santarish. You will be able to cross over. Don't worry. Aham tam sarapapya. If you are moksha shami masacham, do not worry. Krishna is reassuring again and again. Brajinam santarishasi. So what we have to do? We have to sit on the boat of transcendent knowledge. Now, where is that boat? Can I buy that boat one place? No, that boat is available to all of us, but to none of us. Why I say all of us and to none of us? Bhagavad Gita is available to all of us. But how many are really taking this book in heart, in application? In that sense, it's not available so easily. Krishna is not so cheap. Serving special master is not so cheap. Prabhupada had to give his life, not physically, eventually physically as well. So when we think we'll also become advanced transcendentalists just by having, our normal eating, sleeping, mating, defending, sorry, it will take a lot of time. But Sarvebhyah Papakrittamah, example came Valmiki, Ratnakar Daku, Papakrittamah, he was one of the topmost sinner in that body, right? In that stage of his life. He had murdered not normal people, and I think I've shared that with someone. Balgadi, everyone knows Balgadi, quite big. He had killed Brahmanas and collected the threats. He had collected 7.5 Balgadi full of Brahman threats. He had killed so many Pandits and Brahmans. that person, will you call him a sinner or a very sinful person? Sarvebhya Papkratamaha. Nragari, for example. So many examples. But they sat on that boat of knowledge through the mercy of their spiritual master. And then Brajinam Santarishasi. Not only they crossed over, they are making us cross over. Make sense? All good? So even if you are in, I'm sure no one is of that category of Ratnakar Daku, I'm sure. But even if you are close to him in that field, no worries. Come to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna, surrender to Prabhupada. Santarishasi. Okay? We'll do one more verse. Why not?
Bro, question.
No, I said this is so nice, like it's connecting and so beautiful.
It's like a necklace, you know. It's just one after another. Okay, someone said something.
Yes, bro, in that case, when you are in that Papakrit Tamaha stage where you have done so many sins, won't any of those sins outcomes will be, won't you face anything? Like so you're saying that every impact of these papas are taken by...
Yeah, so Prabhuji, there's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, is spoken where Sakshi Gopal pastime is there. I don't remember that verse. Similar verse is there in Vishnu Puran as well. Both verses, one holy name. Actually, 6th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, one holy name. What to speak of one holy name? Vishnu Dutas are saying, you can read one of the verses, 6.2. One na word, na letter. It says Narayan, because when Yamduta said to Vishnu Das, he had only chanted Narayan, and how come you are saying, he has become a very nice devotee, all his reactions are taken care of. He said Narayan is actually too big. When he just said na, it says one of the examples given, even if you say Rajma, सारे लोग हम लोग लोग क्लास होते हैं चलेगा Raj Maharshi, that's a sensitive example. Prabhupada has given a local example, Raj Maharshi. You get the benefit of chanting Ram. So when you say Rajma, you get the benefit of chanting Ram. You say Raj Maharshi, you get the benefit of chanting Ram. So Vishnu says, what we speak of word Narayan, when they say Na, all his sins were taken care of. Not only repeatedly, or the very first time. So if you all can chant Narayan, we all got the benefit as per Bhagavatam. Why not? I hope I did not hear you, but you all have chanted Narayan in your own zone. So this is the benefit, Prabhuji. Pap are very, very small. So, there is no degree of papas which a holy name cannot counter. No degrees. It says you cannot commit that many sinful activities which a holy name cannot counter back. Holy name is just too big. An example given somewhere I've heard, Prabhuji. Suppose you have done all the sins of the world which exists in this universe in the books of any Shastra, right? That is like a chuha, like a mouse. And holy name, one holy name is like a hathi. It's like a hathi. Now to kill a chuha, do you really need a hathi? And you are Sarvebhya Papratama. So the point is definitely clear in Shastra, Prabhuji. There's no amount of sin which you can commit, which a holy name cannot counter. Holy name is just too big. But countering the sin is not the real benefit of chanting Hare Krishna. That's the main point which a devotee should take back. That's just a byproduct. It will just happen. It will just happen. The main product is getting Krishna Prema. That's why we're chanting Hare Krishna. Okay? Yes, so just chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Now with this Rupa Prabhu's nice comment, we'll stop the class here. Otherwise devotees will not be happy with me. It's 6:19. I'm already 4 minutes over. So we can meditate on these few teachings which we have shared today. Very nice verses, very clear and very much practically applicable in our life. And we'll meet you all. Now, before we go, very important, please don't leave your seats as yet. Next weekend, kids holiday is starting. I am not here, and I don't mind physically not being here, but even on offline, I will not be available. So if okay, we can do a class on Wednesday, which I guess is, anyone can look in the phone? 21st, if that's okay. So we can do that class, and the following week we can just have a normal class. I think 2nd of October, and hopefully Ghanshyam Prabhu will be giving that class. Not that I'm not there, I'm also there, but I was trying to get Ghanshyam Prabhu for a while, but I understand he's very, very busy. So he will come, and we want to start 5th chapter with Ghanshyam Prabhu. Or we'll do 1 or 2 verses of 5th chapter, whatever possible next week. And we'll start. So that will be 2nd of October, same time. Now, place Sumitra will define, and we'll leave that place for later. But we'll have the same time on 2nd of October. But this week we can have a class on Wednesday. Is that okay? With most of you, I understand getting everyone may be a little difficult. Okay, no answer can be taken as Mona Sammati Lakshanam.
Oh, Thursday is a public holiday.
So what?
Just saying, if you want, we can have it on Thursday as well.
Yeah.
So I think let's keep it consistent. I think many have the things as well on Thursday, and it's a good day to go out. Is Ekadashi word holy name? No, Thursday is Ekadashi. Yeah. Why I'm saying that because many times we have changed the class schedule, and the people get confused on the days as well. So let's try to be consistent. You also finish it up on Wednesday and Thursday. You have your time for your holy name and family.
Yeah, well, sometimes it becomes difficult, bro, because few of us.
I agree with you, Prabhuji. I don't know. It's a work day, and then we have. Is Thursday better for others? I'm asking now. But then some others, Prabhuji said Thursday doesn't work for them for all the good reasons. So that's why I thought we'll be just consistent with one day. When we shift the class, we shift on Wednesday. I'm happy to go with the flow. I can be on Thursday available. That's no issue with me. Okay, Wednesday. Okay, here people are saying Wednesday. Let's keep it Wednesday. And I understand if someone cannot make it on time, late, we just try. Because Thursday will not be available for some other people. Now, just one more thing on Karthik also, we have to shift the classes to midweek classes, because all of us, I'm sure, will be involved in programs on Sunday evening. It's like our peak time. So we'll publish the roster for the dates and times and all that, but I'm just telling you in advance, Karthik will also be a midweek class for 4 weeks. So 2nd and 9th will have normal class, and then Karthik, which is starting on 10th, will have midweek classes, and Sumitra will publish all the schedule of time and all the details. Okay? And last thing, but not the least, we have finished 4 chapters almost. So please submit your assignments of 3rd chapter. Many devotees have not done yet. Many devotees have done it. So thank you to all of them. And 4th is always almost ending. So please do for 4th as well. And if I set up a date before Karthik, does that work for everyone? But I don't want to delay it. I literally want to commit to one date and just do it then. Then there should not be any except emergencies. You go to the hospital or your immediate family member goes to the hospital on the last day. But don't leave it for the last day. Do it next week or so. Now in the essay type questions, some devotees have asked, you only have to attempt 5 questions out of 10. It can be any 5 questions. So if you have already done 1 and 2 or 1 or 3, you just have to do 3 more. So in each chapter, you can submit 1 essay question and 1 short assignment, or you can do all 5 together. Totally up to you. How do you do it? But let's make it before Karthik, 9th of October. Sumit Prabhuji, I'm not seeing some nods of the heads.
Sure, Prabhuji.
So chapter 3 and 4, short as well as long answers by 9th of October. Okay. And there should not be any extensions, honestly. Just do it. So 3, 4, 2, whatever is remaining for whoever, I think most of them done it. So 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, by chapter 4, 9th of October 2022, not 2023. Some people are happily nodding the head. No, 9th of October 2022, 11:59 p.m. Do it. Okay. Anything else from anyone? Sorry, from anything else I forgot?
Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, chalega. Indian bhi chalega. Okay. Anything else with Prabhu or anyone else I forgot? And today's Madhava's Kirtan, so everyone please join. If you are in Glenfield, get a helicopter, come in. Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll see you all somewhere sometime. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.